Hey guys, welcome. Hat Tuesday number 17. Hat Tuesday number 17. Man, we are basically right at the end of the year. Wow. Can't believe it. Can't believe we're already here. We're one day away from New Year's Eve. So you guys, hopefully you guys have done some of that homework that you guys had in terms of reflection on the year. Again, I might decide to do a show tomorrow. I mean, I could do that. I don't know. Right now, as it stands, this is the last show of the year. If I decide to go live tomorrow, maybe I'm feeling it, I'll do so. Maybe I'll do that with my brother. I don't know. I'll figure something out if I'm feeling it. But you guys kind of have seen me being a little bit quiet towards these last couple weeks because one, I've been traveling, which you guys know about. I've also been spending time with family and friends. Really, like that's for me the most important part of the year, right? So kind of for family and friends, just loved ones in general. Pardon me as I kind of do that. And like I said, I also don't want, I've mentioned this before, I don't want this channel to kind of be my entire life. I want to kind of be able to like live and then come back here. I got my good buddy Josh. Josh, how's it going, my friend?
Good morning.
All right. I also have Paul. Paul, how you doing?
Hi.
Good. I think it's afternoon over in London.
It is. It's 4 o'clock, 4 p.m.
4 o'clock. All right.
Yep.
Excellent.
So just had lunch and just in the middle of making another hat, and
Yeah.
timing is very good. Hi, Josh. Good to see you.
Hey, Paul. Good to see you.
Happy Christmas and New Year and all that.
Yes.
Happy Christmas and Happy New Year to both of you.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was just talking to the audience about I've been a little bit I guess less active on social media. Oh, we got Nathan.
Hey.
Nathan, welcome.
How are you?
Nathan?
Doing well. It's good to see you, my friend. I hopefully you don't mind. I have the rest of my crew here. It's not the entire crew, but Nathan, I don't know how many shows you've watched, but you kind of already know that I have kind of a board of directors, I like to call them. And we got Brad. Speaking of, we got 5 people. We're like one more from maxing out. So
Hey,
if anyone
Brad.
wants to join, welcome, Brad.
Hello.
It's
How's
good
everybody
to see
doing?
Paul in the flesh. I've never actually spoken to Paul. We've emailed quite a bit, but
Yeah.
it's just a privilege to share some time with him.
Nice to meet you too, Nathan, and thank you for your enthusiasm and your commitment to buying from me. It's been really a pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, I got my last year's version right here.
Excellent.
So I'm excited to open the box for today, but we'll build some momentum up to that.
Biting my nails, yeah.
That sounds good.
I'm just hoping. Did the box arrive in good shape? That's the thing. I mean, that was the thing that was worrying me.
Yeah, it did.
Morgan.
Both last year. I realized it was about the same time last year, but yes, it did arrive good. I took the plastic off of it, and I need to cut the Paul's shipping is next to none, so I'll cut the seals. He's put 3 seals on it to increase my anticipation.
Yeah,
it's really on there like for a security thing. I had some stickers made up. I think I've got them here actually. But, the little sticker that with my logo on, so that or one of my logos anyway. But it's just a security thing because of course somebody could come in there, steal one, and we wouldn't know. But at least if you've got something on there, so if you're shipping hats or something like hats, it's worth investing. It was just a few pounds to buy a roll, and it makes all the difference.
Yeah, and I feel privileged because I've got what I consider an early PJM logo.
Yeah.
So
yes.
So I like to say this is one of the first batches, that went out. I don't know if that's true, but
yeah, no, it is true, Nathan. It is very true. I mean, I think you probably have either read or heard my story, but I started by buying second-hand hats, and when they didn't fit me, I was refurbishing them and then selling them on, and then buying more, and eventually it sort of segued me into buying the equipment to refurbish, but also I had then therefore the equipment to make new hats. And so I started to research it and thought, well, actually, it's not a very big market in terms of active players in the UK. Wouldn't it be good if, the market can't get much smaller, so it can only go upwards. Now, if I can use some influence one way or another, maybe it'll go upwards enough just to give me enough money from my pension fund, and and so I sort of got involved with that. And the other reason was, of course, I got a mark on my head, which was possibly cancerous. It's not, as it happens, but they're just keeping an eye on it. But I was told I must wear a hat when I'm outside in the sunlight. So yours was one of the early, certainly one of the early open roads that I made. But now, I love the open road and the hat style and the materials and stuff. And in fact, yours was the one you're wearing was quite a lightweight open road actually compared to the Americans, which is for me, I think it's a really nice dress look and feel.
I tell you, this is one of the most versatile hats that I have. This is casual. This is for the dress. My wife thinks I should wear the whole brim down, which kind of gives it a outdoorsy kind of rough and tumble look.
Yeah.
But I could wear this with about anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah. In fact, I must say that Nathan was the gentleman who was responsible for helping me to explore my style in terms of headbands. Yeah. And more recently I've been looking at making hats now with 2 or 3 different hat bands because certainly in the UK people want to invest in a good quality hat, but where they've never bought a hat before, they think that investing £300-400-500 in a hat is a lot of money. They can only afford one. Well, you and I know that one is the slippery slope, but they don't at this stage. And so making a hat with several sweatbands, like I've just done for this one, I think gives it a lot of options. And I think what we did with Nathan's, in fact, what we've done with this one is we've put a gross grain, a gross grain normal band on it, which just comes off and goes on. But then we've got the leather sort of cowboy type and Nathan's got the same there, and it really there you go, Josh. And it goes from being a formal hat to much more of a casual hat, and it just lifts off. It's like, wow, great. What a play on some fun just with one hat.
And Josh has the hat band game. That's something I'm newly exploring. I think is the hat band. To really spice it up. Josh showed one that there's a lot you can. I mean, it changes the whole hat. When you do something like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of expression they can do, especially with just the hat bands alone, and that's one of the things I've been experiencing with in my schooling. From all the different hat influencers, hat makers out there. It's like each one has their own style, but at the end, it's the customer, like you, Nathan, that makes the hat your own.
Yeah.
Right.
There are some out there that they want just a bouquet of flowers on their hat, and I've seen those. I'm like, that is just too heavy. So it's for me, it's a balancing act.
Yeah. What was it? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. At least that's what my mother used to say to her people when they were showing me off as a baby. So,
That's right.
Yeah, I'm excited too. With these hats, and we'll kind of get into the story. But there's a neat how the band on this one that's in the box kind of came to fruition. So we'll get into that.
That sounds good, Nathan. I just wanted to make sure that one, we get at least a little bit of a tidbit for those, because this is your first time on the channel. One, thank you for reaching out. I wish more folks would reach out, because I think sometimes what happens is maybe they don't realize that this is kind of community based. You could just need to be a hat wearer. And matter of fact, you don't even need to wear hats to be on this channel. You just like to be curious about hats, right? I like to call it hat curious. So if you're curious about hats, you're welcome on this channel. If you just want to ask, because that's the purpose of this channel. It really is kind of like the online version of Cheers, where everybody knows your name and they always glad you came, right? So if you could just go ahead and just give us a little bit, maybe to the degree that you want to share, right? About your hat journey, maybe your career journey, or even your life journey.
Sure.
Just to give the audience a little bit of flavor of Nathan to the degree that you want to share.
Yeah. So, middle-aged, born in Southeast United States, kind of born and raised. You know, growing up in the 80s and 90s, it was baseball caps, right? You get out of
Right.
school, you put a cap on. You go out to play, you put a cap on. That's just, that's just where it's at.
Right.
And I used to work on cars. Guess what mechanics wear? They wear a cap. They wear a hat.
Right.
Then I went to the restaurant business. Guess what? You got to wear a hat. So I never considered myself a hat guy, even though I was wearing some kind of headwear. And I
Yeah.
think the whole conversation of how headwear has evolved, not only over the last 100 years or a few hundred years, but just in the last 50 or 60, has progressed very rapidly. I think more so ever than in human history. I was on the way to work this morning, and I see, hoodies. That's the thing now, right? Young people wear the hoodies. That's
Right.
headwear. I mean, it's certainly evolved very, very rapidly over the last 50 or 60 years. And I think the conversation's fascinating. But
Right.
as I got older, my job didn't require me to wear a hat. My role didn't, so I didn't wear it as often. And
Yeah.
then I started some volunteer work. Um, and the brother I was working with, he always wore fedoras. He had, and I thought, man, that's because we were out in the morning, we were out in the cold, we were out in the hot, and it was keeping his head warm in the cold,
Yeah.
and it was keeping the sun off of him. And I have had some skin cancer already that I had to have removed. So I thought, man, that's a pretty good idea. So I went and bought a fedora, and I got tons of compliments, and it was
Yeah.
this great thing, and confident. It's interesting because it takes a lot of confidence to go out in a hat, but
Yeah.
then when you get the response that you get, it's like it builds it. So
Right.
it's pretty neat. Um, of course, when the season changed, I had to get a straw. And then the next cold season came. What happens? You got to get another one.
Yeah.
And then 6 or 7 years ago, I bought a nice felt cowboy hat. I was in Texas at the time, and I thought I need to get me a hat. And it's one of my favorite hats to this day. And then COVID came, and I don't know why. Kevin KTG popped up. I have no idea why it came on the algorithm, but
Right.
yeah, there's this quirky guy that it's I don't know what it is about him that kind of draws us into him, but or to me anyway. But
Yeah.
my wife would come by and she was like, "What are you watching this guy for?" And but he just kind of draws you in with his passion and what he does. He lives it.
Yeah.
And he was in the JJ Hat Center doing his thing, and then he started his, and I think between then I'd ordered a Stetson Stratoliner, and I was wearing that quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
And then KTG got laid off, and he started his own brand. And I thought that's pretty neat. I'll get a hat, from him, and that would be a neat experience. And because to me, it's more about experience. I think, like if you can with the KTG model, especially. You've got colors and bands and all these customizations that you can do, and
Yeah.
the community is very solid. So I got a couple of those, and I was looking at a open road last year, and I
Yeah.
kind of went back and forth, and I was close to buying one on the website, and I thought it's just such a generic experience. I mean, you can go into a department store and you can get this overpriced, run of the mill kind of hat. And I felt like going to a big brand like that just wasn't giving me the really experience because
Right.
when you wear a hat, I think people are, oh, I like your hat. Where did you get that? And you want a story, right? You want a conversation piece, and I don't want to say, well, I went on the website, I got it. Like that's so bland and normal.
Yeah.
So So I don't know why, maybe because I was watching the KTG videos that a video of Paul came up. And this was back when he was restoring the secondhand hats. And I thought that's cool. And I subscribed and I was watching them. And then this video came up and he had this big stack of felts. You know, if you remember that video, I've watched it like 3 or 4 times, but he's got this felts and he's like, yeah, I've got some news. You know, I'm gonna start building hats and make a hat brand. I thought that's cool, you know, and so I found his email and I thought, you know, I wonder if he can make an open road for me. And I emailed him. I was like, hey, you know, I really like an open road style hat. Can you do a cattleman crease? And here's the measurements. You know, I sent him the measurements on the crown, and I thought like he didn't know what he was talking about, right? So here's the crown, here's the brim, this is where I want it, and he was like, yeah, and I've learned that Paul's so generous, and when I saw the video, I was like, you know, I really like that felt that I saw on screen, but I wanted a blue one. I couldn't really decide. And Paul's like, oh, I'll just make a few. And you just tell me which one you like.
Right.
And I like the blue. So I was kind of set on the blue. It was a blue navy. And he would send me some pics, you know, as he was making it. And it was very exciting, right? I mean, that's such an experience to do that. So this is the blue.
All right, let me maximize the screen here. That way the audience can see. Hopefully, Morgan, you let me know if this comes out off, but yeah.
And it's pretty soft. It's, you know, it's got a good snap. You can do that.
Yeah.
That's normally how I wear it, with the snap like that for this particular one. And I love the little little cord there. And of course, I like to brag, I've got one of the first editions.
Yeah, I like that emblem. Yeah. It reminds me of The Godfather. I mentioned it on my, And
the band, the sweatbands are really nice. I love, there's a little etching here that goes around that you just don't see on normal hat bands.
Yeah.
A nice satin liner. He makes his own liners. You know, he sews everything, and he actually does the videos showing you. He'll do that. The stitching is impeccable. It's hard to believe Paul just not like started not too long ago doing these. So it's a very unique kind of build there. And it's thick. Paul probably has some of the specs on this one, but I think he'll correct me if I'm wrong, but it might be like a wool rabbit mix. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was.
It's pretty thick. I mean, it's flexible.
Yeah,
but it's thick.
If you put steam in that and they fit it, or if you can iron around the edge and put a bit of steam in it, and it'll all come back up to where it was. I mean, but you know, and of course, when you handle it more, the shellac breaks down and the stiffness breaks down, and so you can play with it as you like, but it will go back into you know, what it was originally in. But yeah, I mean, you don't see too many of that color, and certainly not of the trim colors with it. That's for sure.
Yeah, the brim trim with that blue, I love that color combination. It's so like classic to me. And the open road, I got to tell you, the open road to me is that we've talked about, right, the evolution of the fedora and how the Western hat gave way to the fedora, but that open road sits right at the middle between the two. At least in my mind, it sits right in the middle where it doesn't look off. It can look good in any part of the U.S. And I'm U.S. centric, right? Obviously, I'm based in the D.C. metro area, so I'm kind of U.S. centric. But I feel like the open road does not look out of place anywhere. You could go down south, and you can go up north. You can go anywhere, and the open road still looks good.
I call it a hybrid hat. A hybrid hat. It's one of those hats that you can literally wear anywhere, and it works with almost any style.
Yeah. And the Tulsa King is now, I mean, I don't know if anybody watches the Tulsa King other than myself. It's not a fantastic show by any means, but the villain in season 3 wears an open road. Detweiler. I forget the actor's name. I believe he's the same actor that played the in T2. He was the Liquid Terminator. I think it's the same actor, but I could be wrong.
Robert Patrick,
Yes.
Robert Patrick.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. I
Also,
got
the
that right.
sheriff in Dukes of Hazzards, if I remember correctly, wore a white open road.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't remember that, but I'm gonna go check that out, because the open road, when you start knowing these hat styles, you start like, right. So you watch a movie. That's why I do Fedora Friday. You never like watching it as a hat person. You watch it almost with a completely different lens. That I love that color combination. Like I said, it just looks classic. I mean, Nathan, was that kind of like what you settled on, or did you already know right off the top that you wanted that color combo?
So it's interesting, like with this, I love the color of the blue. That's really and I gave him the measurements. I wanted the cattleman crown. I wanted that height, the brim matching everything. But the thing I left for Paul, I said, listen, surprise me on the hat band. Whatever you come up with, like I want that to be your little thing. So as long as it's this blue and it's an open road, whatever you wanted to kind of throw on there. And I didn't want to say, I just wanted him to kind of express it at that moment.
Right.
And he sent it back, and I was like, gosh, I love that. And he had the cord on there and everything, and it was so different and unique. I fell in love with it. I mean, that was the story of that. And the one I'm wearing, so this, of course, the generous part, right? So he made this other one. He's like, I made a couple, you can look at it. And so he made this one, and it's neat because I can watch the YouTube and I can see this hat, the felt body on camera. But it's kind of a two-tone hat band with the cord. And it's an open road. It's the same dimensions. And it's so unique, and it's so special. And I saw that when he sent it to me, and here I am. I'm like, man, which one do I want? Which, I can't pick. And I said, Paul, I gotta have both of them. So he sent me both, and that's the
well, I'm going to ask you a question that you may not have expected to field, but it looks like you have product in your hair. I'm going to have to ask you what you use on your hair.
I don't. So I use beard balm, beard butter, and then whatever I have on my hands, I just kind of,
Okay.
I'm the same way, Nathan. I do the same thing.
Yep.
Interesting. I like that. So again, we have a lot of guys on this channel. Every time, so obviously facial hair is part of some of the styling, right? And then it's interesting that you mentioned you just go with the beard first, and then you just use the residual on top.
That, and then whatever's left, just get rid of it in my hands, and then wipe and go.
All right, I love it. Thank you for sharing that. That was a little bit personal question, but I was something where I feel like as a guy, I have to kind of ask these things because I feel like other people might be curious about it, and I got to ask.
It's not the first time I've been asked that. Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those things that guys are usually, and I always talk about this, Nathan. If you watch some of my shows, guys are very notorious for like thinking that we know all the answers, right? We don't like asking questions. We don't like asking directions, right? Lost? I'm not lost. I've just been circling here. I want to get some exercise, right? Yeah. We're notorious for doing that. And I feel like sometimes I try to buck that trend because I feel like other guys, they want to know, but they're too scared. So, just to kind of, that whole idea of, oh, I knew that, but I'm like, I'm going to be here to ask the questions because I'm like, I got to know. I want to know myself,
I don't know. I don't know how, I think once COVID started or right around that time, men's grooming really took off, the beards and how to do that and the hair and the fashions. And, oh, man, we got Morgan in the flesh, man. Look at this.
Yes, we do. Morgan, hi, welcome.
Hi, I was in another tab.
Look at her open road, man.
I was actually going to my YouTube on the computer to tell Luke to take Nathan's handsome mug off the big screen so that I could get some attention too.
Yay!
Morgan, you always, like I said, Morgan is already a well-known ambassador of this in this subculture. That's what I was reaching for. And everybody knows Morgan. Like I said, I think everybody met Morgan on Hats and Guitars. And Morgan has been a pivotal part of the success of this channel in 2025. Morgan, thank you so much for joining us on screen. It's been a big 2025. You know what I mean? I think this is the max. Hopefully nobody else. Hopefully, Robert, if you're watching this, you're not trying to get on screen, because I think this is the max that I get for my free account. We've maxed out. This is another first on Good Luke's, maxing out 6 people on the screen at the same time. Yeah. So again, thank you guys for all joining us. Nathan, I was going on. Sometimes as guys, I already had a couple similarities. Paul also had the same kind of journey in terms of having a health issue that kind of precipitated his foray into hats, and also the card neck mirror. That's another thing that guys love. Guys love machines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, if you're gonna tell me about the car guy, that's like the cliche, right, of the car guy. And so like I feel like you're fitting in really well here already in terms of like the similarities between the groups.
Yeah, it's the community is great. I tell you, just being with the KTG group. I don't think you can ask for a more positive group. It's refreshing, and you don't get a lot of backbiting and snarkiness and things. It's very welcoming. And I encourage anybody that's able to watch, if you haven't kind of tasted the flavor of that, I would encourage you to do that. But I am curious. So everybody knows I'm wearing my PJM, and I know Paul's got one of his customs on too.
Yeah.
But and I see Morgan's got an open road, but I don't know what Josh and Brad are wearing.
Well, Josh and Brad. We'll go Brad, alphabetical order.
I'm wearing a Herbert Johnson Raiders fedora.
I thought that's what that was. Yeah.
Since Paul is a British hatter, I thought, well, I'll wear the only British hat I have. So.
I think there's one. There's one there.
All right.
Yeah.
There's one there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Josh, you want to go?
Sorry, my daughter was.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Sorry.
So cute. Your family's cute.
So this is my custom. This is my custom.
Yeah, I wanted to check that out.
Look at that, eh?
Big screen.
Maximize. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So this was part of a twin project. I posted on the group about the black short brim cowboy with the sharp teeth. This is its twin, but in olive.
Oops.
Wow.
So he ordered 2 felts without telling me and gave me this one.
I love it. I love that, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll share this. This is a Lock & Co. So it's also a British hat. I got this Lock & Co. from none other than Paul John Murphy himself. This is a hat that Paul. I don't know if this is one that you restored.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. It's one of those things where I was actually able to wear this hat on the second night, my second trip to Lock & Co. I wore this hat to go to Paul, the other Paul, the one that works at Lock & Co. He's basically a historian of all things Lock & Co. And he was able to go and, this one himself, he dated my black Hamburg that I also got from Paul. Paul was tending to a customer on my second trip, so he couldn't date this hat, but they have another master hatter on site, and he was able to tell me, essentially date the hat for me, because you guys all know, if you guys have followed me in terms of the vintage hat nerd in me, I always like to try to do the research into when the hat was produced, try to learn about like the process of dating a certain hat. I had no knowledge of Lock & Co. To that point, so I figured, well, why not just go to the source? So it was very nice to talk to Paul. And Paul, the other gentleman, the master hatter, his name is, do you remember?
I can't remember now, because there was, I know Maxwell.
I forget his name. I apologize to the gentleman. But he's also a master hatter, and essentially was able to help me out in dating this hat. And wow, the experience at Lock & Co. was just tremendous. So, just the idea, I loved how everybody themed out or tried, in terms of like the British angle. Again, you guys all know I had a great time in London, thanks to Paul and thanks to Ian, and I'm definitely going back.
Good. Yeah. And Morgan, can I ask, is that a Hufford that you've got on there? Because
This is
I
not
reckon
this is not a hood. This is a Gannon. He's a hat crafter here in excuse my hat here.
No worries.
Here in the States. Here's the. It's kind of. I wish I had.
I love that.
Gannon.
Okay, Gannon.
Yeah. It's a little bit flatter on the top. That's what made me think it's not a Stetson, and I thought it was a Hufford.
Well, I handshake this, so thank you.
I
don't like Stetsons.
You did a really good job. I
don't like Stetsons. Machine block cattlemen. So.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, you're going to be running your own brand soon, Morgan.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
looking good.
So that's my Gannon, my first Gannon. And it's funny I say that because that box is my first Hoover. I'm actually shipping it out because I've changed my preference in hats. I no longer like dress weight, I like Western weight.
Yeah.
So I figured with me, hats is about spreading the passion. It's not about money.
It's a journey, isn't it, Morgan? It's a journey that we're on it, but it changes. I mean, I'm sure Josh is the same, and probably Nathan and Brad. If you've got big collections like we have, and all of us I have, guess you get up in the morning and you think, what am I going to do today? What hat am I going to wear? Right. Before you even think about, once you've got your shorts on, obviously, but you haven't got, you're not even dressed yet. What hat am I going to wear?
Yeah.
and that's I think that's fun, and we all need a little bit of innocent fun, don't we, in our lives, really?
Yeah, and you guys all know, like, I love that idea. So Morgan brings up a great point about, obviously with those of us that are able to have a collection of hats, right? And it begs the question that Paul has proposed in terms of what's the ideal number of hats in a collection. I think Paul settled like 10 to 12, I believe.
That's what we were talking about, wasn't it, Luke? And we went through the different shapes and the different styles. Yeah. And I think if you couple that with multiple hat bands, then you've really got everything covered. But an open road has got to be in there. A Western style hat's got to be in there. One of these sort of festival hats has got to be in there. Certainly the style of the traditional trilby and fedora. So maybe a trilby, as it's so formal, maybe a really nice fur felt in that, and a classic. Pork pie is something that I'm not really. The stingy brim doesn't really look brilliant on me. Let's put it that way, because I'm a wide frame. But I think certainly a lot of people would have that in there, and of course a good quality baseball cap. I mean, we when we were in Lock & Co, we went down the road to a hat shop called Hilditch & Kay, which is a company that they make the brand Bates & Co hats, which have been going on for many years. And they showed us some baseball caps that were £500 each. They were cashmere baseball caps. I mean, it just blew my mind, to be honest with you. I'd never considered my luxury baseball cap is actually a Melton for wool felt baseball cap, and I've got it in a few colours, and that's about as luxury as I've managed to get so far. But that's taken me to another level.
I was blown away by that, Paul. I mean, besides the Panama, the 30,000 pound Panama, that was, and I don't know if I shared this. Sometimes I forget. When I have conversations or I have experiences, I forget if I said this story. But Paul has recounted this story on the channel before. But when we went together, me, Paul, and Ian, we were able to go there, and the gentleman said, "Stick your hand out," and I was scared already. I stuck my hand out, and he places the Ultra Fino Panama, the 30,000 pound Panama, on my hand, and I'm thankful, but at the same time, I'm just thinking, get this off my hand before I do something stupid. And my gosh, it was, again, I made this remark countless times. I just don't remember who I said this to, but I'm so glad that there's a customer for that hat, right? So, we talk a lot about, like, right, money is not the root of all evil, right? A lot of people can do really great things with money, and that hat wouldn't exist if there was no consumer for it. And they happened to share that a gentleman had just bought 3 of them at once, just recently. when we went in. I'm like, wow, God bless that man, right? I don't know him from Adam. All I know is because of his, I guess affluence, he's able to make the market for this hat. And I'm sure there are others, but I'm thinking somebody really doesn't come in there and buy 3 of them at one time. But this gentleman did, and I'm glad.
What made us really laugh was he said that it was 2 of them were one for each of his 2 houses, and the other one was for his yacht. And we just said, well, I mean,
I'm like, if I could just be there, right? And could you imagine being the person there watching this gentleman drop that kind of, you know what I mean? Like you're in there window shopping, doing some things, and then you see this gentleman buying 3 of these hats, and you're sitting there like, wow, you know what I mean? I love that. I just love the fact that exists, and I gotta imagine that right there also helps. It helps make the case, because again, we know that not everybody, right? Maybe not everybody's doing as well as that gentleman. He's a very moneyed individual, as Paul says. But maybe, right? We talked about the idea of hats being milestone, right? Right, an Optimo hat, or those are hats that are very milestone hats. Now, again, do some people have multiple Optimos? Yes. Just like people have multiple Rolexes, they have multiple Porsches. Great. But some folks, they're like, wait a minute, I can't just buy multiple, hats like that, but I'm going to have one. And it gives you a set of, it's because you just got married, you just made partner, you did some kind of life event that you want to commemorate. And that's why I feel like, and getting back to topic here, on Paul's side, the quality of Paul's hats, I got to tell you, are very, even though they're not priced like an Optimo, but they are very much, I think, can be a milestone hat for anybody. So all you guys that are watching, obviously we don't have a lot of folks watching now, but in syndication we may. If you're watching this and you don't have any hat collection, you might be short on money, right? We've had that conversation. I've had that conversation with Morgan when we went to Brooklyn about how does one start in this hobby, right? Maybe you start off like what Paul mentioned in the vintage game, right? Paul started off just like a lot of folks with the vintage hats, because they're much more attainable. You can get access to a level of quality that's much higher.
Yeah. I mean, just on that point, if I just might interject, this hat turned up today, and it's a second-hand hat that I bought. And I'll share with you how much I paid for it, because there's a story behind it. It's a Herbert Johnson, and it's I think it's a wool fur felt, but it's like a hunting style thing. It's Herbert Johnson in there. Hat, and I think I paid £18 for this hat, and obviously I've got to restore it. But on the same format, on the same website that I bought this one, there was somebody else selling the equivalent for £180. Yeah. And so what I'm saying, I guess, is that if you get into the hat gaming and the vintage game, it can be real great fun just researching the prices, the brands, the styles. What do you think? If you were in a position that you had to sell it, what could you get for it, so that you're not exposing yourself to anything other than tying your money up in hats that you could turn into cash if you needed to. And it was just that's a brand that we know, and obviously Brad's wearing one today, and love, and you can buy them still at low prices. Now this one is a size 58, so I don't have to make it any bigger. But I'm quite used to taking a hat like this, deconstructing it, stretching it out, using the same materials and making it 1 or 2 sizes bigger, and then reselling it. So that because of today's way that we've got bigger heads, us men, then clearly it's something that has to be considered to as an option. But anyway, sorry to interject, but I thought it was
no, that's a great point. And again, I don't know. Obviously, the nice thing is, there are folks that they wouldn't. They don't. There's a lot of folks that don't like the idea of wearing something that belongs to somebody else, right? But that's why it's amazing that this hat hobby, we have hatters, we encourage hatters, right? We try to spawn new hatters and support the ones that exist now, because there is a market out there that the idea of vintage anything, meaning that going to a thrift store or going to any kind of secondhand market, right? They will even buy secondhand cars.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's brand new or nothing. If somebody put their butt on this seat, I don't want it. And that's fine. Right. Like everybody has their own thing. But there are avenues out there. And Paul has discussed it. We have discussed it with Morgan in how to take a stepwise approach, because, well, let's be honest, not everybody is streaming with money, but this hat hobby allows people from all types of economic situations to come in and try and sample this and be part of this community. And that's one of the many things I love about it. I think Nathan hit the nail right on the head that, and I said this before, hat people really are the best people. And I'm probably super biased. I know I'm biased, but I've had a chance to dip my toe into the gun community, right? You guys know I'm a guy that I like guns. I don't have a big collection of guns, but I'm a gun guy, and I became a gun guy. And it's a good community too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to disparage, but also the watch community. The watch community is another community. They have a little bit more of a reputation, I'm sure, if you guys might know, right? Because it attracts a lot of affluence, and some folks, and again, it has nothing to do with their affluence. It's just that jerks exist everywhere. They just happen. I've seen a lot more of them in the watch community, and in the car community. We got lots of jerks in the car community, but lots of great people too, right? I dipped my toe into that, and it happens. The nice thing I like about the car community is that it attracts a lot of younger folks. So you have older folks with the classic cars, also a lot of the younger folks that like to modify their cars, and then you get young folks and old folks together interacting, and that's always a good thing. But for me, I've not seen the level of politeness, the level of support that I've seen in any of those subcultures that I've seen in the hat community. Yes. And I think there's a reason for it. I think people, when they wear a hat, they just stand a little taller, they feel a little bit more confident, and they want to be a better person. I don't know what you guys can.
Yeah, I think Luke's dead on. I mean, from top to bottom, it's just generally a very wholesome group, and I mentioned that before. You just don't get a lot of the negativity, I think, that happens in other spaces. Yeah, and I can't put my finger on it like Luke can either, I think, but it's something about the hat community that presents itself like that. Yeah. Whether you buy one from off the rack at a department store, or you're spending $30,000 on something. I mean, it's interesting that it's very communal.
I think just the idea of the hat tip, right? And we've talked about that, in terms of like tipping your hat. Again, that's a gesture of welcome, right? It's of acknowledgement and of
I'm so sorry to cut off. I do have to blast. Nathan, it was nice meeting you.
See you, Morgan. Thanks for joining us.
Nice to meet you, Morgan.
Bye, Morgan.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Morgan. Take it easy.
I'll be in the chat.
Morgan Brown, folks. Thank you so much for joining us, Morgan. But yeah, back to the what I was talking about. I think there's something to that, and I think it's because, right? I always, and you guys know, I'm a psychologist by training. There's the idea of the norm of reciprocity, right? The norm of reciprocity is like this idea of if you want to get something out of somebody, just offer it to them in return first, right? And this idea of the hat tip is already, you just offered an acknowledgement and a salutation to somebody, and granted, they're going to like reciprocate. More often than not everybody will, but more often than not, they will reciprocate. And even if you don't do that, I think the hat itself, even if you don't offer the hat tip, I think that the hat, people see that as, oh, wow, this is a respectful person. This is somebody that is, the hat is to be respected. And I think they are going to reciprocate with their behavior right off the bat. And I think that's my theory.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. It's just borne out. And the thing is, and you guys know this already, the children are the best. Children are the best for their honesty and for just the everything, and I've had children in my neighborhood. I just happen to live in a neighborhood with a lot of small children, and they will say the darndest things, right? Just like the show, right? Children say the darndest things. So I always mention this, like my favorite comment was, "Mister, do you kidnap children?" And I said, no, little girl, I do not kidnap children. But at the same time, don't talk to strangers, But I also had another young boy. This kid might have been 12, and he asked me, he said, "Why are you always smiling?" And I was like, "Wow, why am I always smiling?" So it brought me back to like my son. My son, if you guys ever get to meet my son, I treated my son like, I guess probably like an adult since he was like maybe 10 years old. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe because he was eating sushi. I'm like, this kid eats sushi. He's a generally bright kid. At least I thought. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have like serious conversations with him. And I felt like, okay, this kid asked me a very serious question. Let me go and answer the best I can. And I said, well, because the research has shown that if you smile more, it releases happy hormones in your brain. So smiling actually makes me feel happy, which is the truth. Like, I mean, that's research that shows. And I don't know, he got it. He was like, he shook his head like he understood. I don't know if he understood, but I'm like, okay, that was an interesting conversation. And I get it. And the thing is, they're just saying things that everybody else is thinking, but are too afraid to ask.
Yeah,
that's what I love.
Outspoken for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I love. That's what I want to hear as well on this. And again, we don't. Not to put anybody on the spot, but as we go and have these shows, if you guys have an interaction, even if it's bad, right? But most of the interactions I find are good. They're positive interactions with the public. You can definitely share that on here because that's part of being a Cheers, right? We go and we talk about what happened with our day, with our week, what we're going through, and again, to the degree that we want to share. There's certain things that obviously people want to keep private. I never want to like betray that, But you guys use your best judgment in terms of like, hey, this will be a story that the audience would maybe want to hear, only because, well, maybe they had the same exact interaction. I tell that kid story only because, like, I never had anybody tell me that, but I had this other kid tell me this.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's dig into some hats, man.
Yeah, that sounds good. We got more hats, Nathan.
Yeah,
the one I'm wearing, the one I showed you, is from last year.
Yeah.
And when you see one of these blue boxes come in the mail,
I love it. Yeah.
It's a very special occasion. So
yeah,
this just arrived yesterday, actually.
And it's blue.
Yeah. I'm gonna cut mine.
Nathan, I also love the color blue. So
yeah, this is the Paul. I don't know. Maybe Paul. Is there a special story about the boxes, or just...
Well, I wanted to make sure that when the hat arrived, it was like an extension of the experience that I'd given people so far.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that one of my suppliers does actually provide that box, and I went out and I researched in the Far East for getting, and I had to get 500 made, which I sort of thought, but the biggest problem was I don't have the space to store them at the moment because I'm looking to move house to get a bigger area to do my hats in. So what I do is I normally buy these in about batches of 20, and they've got a nice insert inside, as I know Nathan, where the hat actually sits, and it supports the hat when it's in transit. Because honestly, there were so many hats that were turning up that were damaged that this seemed to be, and so far has proven the best way of doing it. I mean, look, that's not in bad condition considering it's gone all the way from here to you.
Yeah. And Nathan, the transit time, how was the transit time? I know I had the same experience, but I want to make sure that it was similar because I know you're in a different part of the U.S.
Yeah. No, it was good. He sent it. Oh gosh, it was about a week-ish. About a week.
Oh yeah, that's exactly
what holidays and all that. I mean, I thought that was pretty decent.
That's exactly what mine took as well. So if you guys that want to order about a week, you guys from the U.S. that want to order from Paul, it was about a week.
Yeah. So Paul, like I said, he's his packaging is.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's right.
And he's got. I'm nervous to see what's under it. So he always like a personalized letter. There he signs it. And the hat care instructions, I'm assuming, yes. Hat care.
So thorough, Paul. So
I know.
thorough.
Well, you never know.
And it's
What-
cardstock.
Yeah.
He's using cardstock. I can hear it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is very, yeah, it is not just very, very thick. Oh. All right, so
At least he's still smiling.
I know. So, explain that, Paul. I got a little elastic band there.
Do you remember we talked about you may or may not require some padding? Well, that is the material that I don't tend to use it, but that a lot of material. What that's designed for is a cloth sweatband. Now I use it to measure and then put it behind the leather sweatband, and
Yeah.
it gives that bit of padding and a bit more grip if the hat is a little bit on the bigger side, because we weren't sure because it was the one that I'd already made. So
Yeah.
it's there if you need it.
And that's perfect because, you know, it's real thin. And if you need more, you just fold it.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Good call.
I'm
Well
going to
done.
put that information in my back pocket because I have a customer that's got a very small head, and the smallest hat block I currently have is a 56, but she's below a 56.
Gotcha.
And I'm fortunate that Paul and I think, have similar size heads. So,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, because like I know he makes them and wears them, and then I get the benefit because
Yeah.
they're the same size, you know.
Yeah. And I have a smaller head, so anything that doesn't fit you guys, I can get my hands on, like that number 50, that 58 hat.
Yeah.
The hat here.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love that lining.
Yeah.
That blue lining is probably my favorite lining that Paul puts out. It's just sharp. It's so elegant.
So I was looking at the story with these hats. So I was looking at a Stratoliner because I already have one. It's a Cordoba brown.
Yeah.
It's a very rich, dark brown, and I really like it. It's a great hat. And I wanted another, and I love the caribou color. And I found myself in that same kind of situation where I was on the site and I was about to click buy.
Right.
And I thought, man, this is like anybody can just do this. Anybody can go to the site and buy this, and you know. And I thought, you know, I wonder if Paul could make me a Stratoliner.
Right.
And so I emailed him again. You know, hey, how you doing? I would like a Stratoliner, or at least I'm looking for one. Here's the measurements. Like Paul doesn't know what the measurements are anyway, but I send them anyway. And you know, here's the crown and the brim, and I really like this caribou color. And he emails me back, and he says, well, let me check my stock. I might have to order something. Take a few weeks, you know, to get in. And then like a few minutes later, I get an email, and he's like, oh, you know, I found one that I forgot I had. And I'm like, well, how do you forget you have this hat? I don't understand.
Yeah.
So he sent me a picture, and it was the exact hat that I had in my mind.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. And I said, Paul, I can't believe this. This is the size that I wear, the hat that I'm picturing in my imagination. And here you have it in your corner that you forgot about. Please tell me how you come up with this hat.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, well, you know, he says, I like the Stratoliner, and they're hard to get. So I made one for myself, and you know, here it is. And I absolutely loved it. So so I agreed to that one, and I'm going to put the cord on this one while I'm talking.
Yeah.
So I agreed to that, and so I said, okay, just send me the invoice. I'll get that one. And in the meantime, I was looking at his website, and I saw this hat there, and it just looked so ordinary. And
Right.
it was just a plain hat. It had a black band on it, and it just looked kind of lonely. I don't know. I kind of envision maybe Paul, you know, had this felt just kind of laying around and was bored on a Sunday afternoon or something, and whipped it up. I don't know the story behind this other hat, but I looked at it and I said, man, Paul, what's the deal with this hat? You know, it's something about it. And I said, but you know, I want some Western flair on it. Can you can you do something different with the hat band?
Yeah.
And he said, well, you know, what exactly you want? I said, well, just, you know, well, whatever your imagination comes to. So we went back and forth a little bit with it, and he had some great ideas.
Yeah.
So we settled on a two-tone band, and I'll show you. And it was just something I was like, you know, there's something we need something more.
Right.
And we've already figured out, you know, with that cording
That's sharp, man.
that Paul has already he has a little Western signature already. And I said, you know, you use that cord on those other ones. How about we try something like that? And he did that, and this is what the product was.
All right.
And this is so beautiful. So Paul, maybe you can give some insight into this.
Yeah, it's a FEPSA mix of beaver and rabbit fur felt. I think it's 90% rabbit and 10% beaver. It's a very smooth felt. I mean, obviously it could do with a little bit of steaming at the moment, but it's just a nice sort of classic fedora shape. That I just you know, it's soft, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, you can certainly tell the difference, and it just looks that sharp. You know, you can wear that with jeans, or you could wear that with a sports jacket. And I've got a blue sports jacket that I wear something similar to that with in that felt, and it just looks. People always come up to me because it looks so special. You know, so different. In fact, I think I've got it here.
It looks royal. It looks royal.
Yeah. I mean, there's mine there, and it's
it's like almost a suede, like a very fine suede.
Yeah, it's where you pounce them. You know, when pouncing, as I think most of you know, is the process of. In fact, I'm pouncing this one here using different sandpapers, different grades to actually rub down the hats, and I actually do it for anything between 45 minutes and an hour. And what that does is it really makes it come down to a really nice smooth material. In fact, it'd be difficult if you didn't know the makeup of that felt. You might even think it's beaver because it does feel.
Yeah, it looks like I thought it was beaver.
Yeah,
it's got some in there, and it's so soft. And you know, I don't know, like I love this. Looks like a machine-made crown. If you can see, just how. I mean, look at the lines.
Love it. The teardrop is impeccable.
Very uniformed. Very uniform. That is very uniformed.
Yeah.
Wow,
almost a molding.
That's crazy.
And Nathan, that crown height was what? Yeah, I saw you break out the measurement. What was that crown height?
So I think it's 4.5. Yep, about 4.5. And Paul does everything in centimeters, so I find myself like
can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's 4.5 in centimeters, Paul? I don't know. 11, 12. I don't know what that says.
4.5 is about 11.5 centimeters. 11, yeah. So it's a nice height. You know, it's what I would call a modern height. Us in the UK, we're very conservative, and 10 centimeters seems to be the sort of norm. But as you get more into wearing your hats, people are now exploring the higher, and I think that's a nice sort of halfway house.
Man, that lining is gorgeous.
Paisley. Oh,
yeah, that's special.
It's a good one. I think
that lining.
That's the green version of it in here, which is.
Let me see if I can get Paul. 1 second, Paul. Let me get back here and let's see. I'm gonna maximize. Here we go. Yeah,
I can't see that very well, but that's the green paisley version in there. And these
green looks good too.
Yeah,
looks so good.
So cool.
Wow. Oh, 1 second. Let me. I'm getting. Let's see here. And then we'll get back. Yeah.
All right. This is, the
moment of truth.
Yeah.
Right.
Moment of truth.
Oh
man.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, that looks great.
Paul, there's an expression we use. Fits like a glove.
Oh, brilliant.
Wow.
I
love it.
We're like head brothers then, Nathan.
Man, this is, and look, I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that looks awesome. Wow. That two-tone, the two-tone ribbon. I love that. It's kind of a double-decker style. And we saw that in one of the shops. I forget which one it was.
Yeah, it was Thomas Farthing.
Thomas Farthing. There you go.
Yeah, but what that is just so that, Josh, all I've used there is a 38 mil gross grain and a 16 mil gross grain, stitched them together at the bottom, and then shrunk them in so that they fit nicely. And then that's the cord is actually a stretchy cord, so that you can actually put it on different sizes of hats, and it stays at the bottom there. But you know, these things are all interchangeable. So yeah.
So Paul's he's got his Western signature.
Yeah.
So if you're going to order one and you want a little Western to it, that's where it's at. And again, Paul's so generous. Look, because we kind of went back and forth on the color band. So
I love it.
You can actually put if you wanted the silver band on there, you could do that as well.
Those again, those are Paul. Not surprising the least bit. Paul is just a detail-oriented individual, and like these are the extra touches that you're. This is exactly what you get with Paul, and that's why I keep singing his praises, because these little details, and it really is for me. And again, I don't have a lot of experience with custom hats. That looks so good.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you've got to get a hat from me in the way that I would like to receive a hat from you. You know, and what I mean by that is that I want to see smiles on your face. I mean, yes, we all need money to get by and buy more hats and things, but it's not all about the money. It's about the it's just about the experience for me, and hopefully the experience I can give to the customer.
And that's the thing too, like, you know, comparably, like actually the same amount of money. I can call Paul and say, hey, I like this color, this thickness, this colorway, this bound edge, much like KTG. You could just just go wild with it. But like with Paul, you're talking to the man that's going to have his hands on it, and the price is right there with me going. If I go to Stetson and order something off the site, I'm going to pay the same with a much less personal experience. So man, this is really, man, this is so awesome.
Wow, man, I tell you, I still can't believe that's not beaver, because it looks completely, or it reminds me of the Naturia. Did I get that right, Paul?
Yep. Naturia. Yeah.
It's just
amazing.
I love taking it on and off. It just feels so good.
It's it really suits you, actually, the brim width and everything. So I'm glad we got that right.
Yeah. So this is the Stratoliner. Oh my gosh, this is it's very thick.
It's
nothing like the one I'm wearing.
You know, it's a
look at
heavyweight.
What's the gram weight on this one?
I think it's about 180 to 210. I can't remember quite. But but it was for me. I wanted something that was a bit stronger than the norm, really to wear, so that it still held its shape even when it was going to be really raining, and you know, it still looked the business. But
guys, look at this teardrop.
And you guys know me, I'm a sucker for the brim trim. I love that. It's like subtle, and it just goes. It's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like one of those elegant. These are one of the hats, like I think Paul always talks about, those hats that could like maybe they're not the traditional colors, but they would still like be okay in a conservative environment. I feel like this is one of those as well.
Yeah, that one's 100% rabbit felt. Yeah, but obviously it's pounced and everything. I mean, it's the thing I'd say. You know, when you're learning to become a hatter, don't cut any corners. You know, just take your time. You know, it's going to take you 6 hours or more to make a hat when you first start, and even now, you know, to make something like that is about 4.5, 5 hours. But you know, somebody somewhere like yourself, Nathan, is going to have that hat for hopefully many years and get some good wear out of it. So it's worth putting the time in.
So we got the 11.5.
11.5. All right.
4.5 inches.
Yeah.
For the man, this is so stiff. Wow.
That one's gonna be able to take some, you know, some some abuse. If
Good winter
not
hat.
any of us probably abuse
winter
any of our hats, but it's always nice to know that it can stand up if you have to go out there and sweat while you're wearing your hat.
It will soften up when you start putting it on and taking it off. But at the moment, it will feel different on to the one that you're wearing because it's a tougher felt. But over a period of time, the heat from your head will actually shape the hat. So it's a bit like do you know when you get a good solid pair of shoes and you have to wear them for several times to break them in, and then they're really like a pair of gloves? That's what that hat's going to be like.
Man. Oh man, that was good. All right.
Quite sharp.
Look at that.
And look, it's so stiff. Oh, I love, it's not really. I mean, I could probably steam it and
you
put it
will.
down.
Yeah.
But
Man.
I don't know why I would.
Holy
that's
cow.
really good, actually. Yeah.
No, that's where it's at. Oh my god.
So Nathan, I counted 4 hats. Did I get that right? 4 PJ Murphy?
Yeah. 4.
Wow. Holy cow.
So this one, like you see the tip, so I can put some padding like in the side, and it's just the right amount of snugness from front to back that when you break it, I think Paul mentioned this, like with the stiffness, and it's just the right amount of snugness that I'm getting on the front to back.
Yeah.
But this thing is going to break in so nice.
Man.
That really suits you.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Man, I'm kind of a little speechless. I mean, I got to tell you, if I had to, not to play favorites, but for me, that beaver, that was not even beaver, right? It's a 10% beaver. That would have to be like, if I had to go home one, I was like, Nathan give me one that I get to go home with. That's the one I'm picking. That one just like blew me out. And I'm a big fan of brim trim. Like that one doesn't have, I think that's the only one without brim trim, right?
Yeah.
I tell you what, if you ever put a bowl of butter on your head, this is what this feels like. It just fits like.
Well, that's usually a sign of a nice hat, though, Nathan. Isn't it? And,
I've never put my head in butter, but if I had
in beard balm.
Oh, Paul, thank you so much. This is
such a relief that you like them and that they fit and So
it's 2 a year for the last 2 years. So 2026, I'm gonna be about a year from now. Oh my gosh, this thing is just. This is what was in my head when I called it. This is God. How do you do that? There's no like finger indentions or anything.
Yeah, it's
right there.
I must have a natural bent for it, I guess. I'm not, I've only been doing it for 2 years. I've probably made, I don't know, 350 hats, not many more. And so
I love the raw edge. This is most of mine have a edge bounding.
Yeah.
But the raw.
Love that.
Gosh, this thing just
love
like
that. Man,
best fitting hat I've had out of a box before.
And we have 2 other gentlemen here that make hats, right? So we have Josh as a hatter. Brad did make hats, although you never know, he might find his way back. I think I'm still convinced you guys had the same customer, the one that drove Brad away. But it's one of those things where this is what it's all about. I mean, seeing the customer open up the item and then seeing them light up, right? Because again, everybody knows that I think we've been trained ever since Christmas time. When we open up that gift, we get that dopamine, and it's almost like it's the same thing over and over again.
And let's be fair, when you get a bit older, what do you buy yourself? Because you've normally bought everything you need.
Correct.
And at the end of the day, if you're somebody that's in business or you've done well in your career, hats aren't too expensive to be able to treat yourself with one. And then you can always sell it on and change them. It's like, hey, there we go. There's a picture. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna at some point screenshot that so I can share that. That's a great one.
Oh my God, this is so
one thing, Nathan, and I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this out. I'm gonna try to ask stuff that other folks might be thinking. I noticed the Pizza Hut, logo. I want to make sure that
I have to represent.
Are you a franchisee or?
I am. Yes.
All right. Excellent. Shout out to Pizza Hut.
Oh man, I've got this is one of my dining rooms back there on the wall.
Yeah, love it.
Almost 32 years into the brand.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Love
see
it.
that classic painting, that classic cartoon in the background there.
That's the
Yeah,
one I was
love
just
it.
going
Right
to
here.
point that out too. I love that.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut
Yeah.
paint.
It really makes
Oh,
me
man.
nostalgic for the old
Oh, yeah.
Pizza Huts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh man.
Again.
I think you know what Paul, you and let's maybe next year we got to do a Pizza Hut themed.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
We got
Love
Steve
it.
Heck that just joined us. Shout out to Steve Heck. Steve, thank you.
Steve.
It's good to see you. Oh, wow. Yes. Wow.
It's insane there.
Amazing.
I think when you look at the Stratoliner from Stetson and you look at one of those, I think that I like to think that the value, as you pointed out, is that we've built a relationship between the hatter and the customer, and they've gone on that journey. So if the journey when going to Stetson is that wide, the journey from coming to a hatter is that wide, because you've got the pre of coming up with the ideas and the nuances that you want in your own hat. You've then got the actual purchase and arrival, and then you've got the wearing experience. And I don't know how many people buy FEPSA felts in America, because I decided to go with FEPSA because it's European and it's close by and so on. But I really like the FEPSA felts compared to what others I've seen. So it's a good felt.
This thing is so soft.
I'm telling you, that hat is amazing. Again, they're all amazing, but that's one I can't take my eyes off of it. It is gorgeous. Paul, man.
This was I don't know if I have a picture of it the way it looked before.
Yeah.
But it was something, and it probably moved me. I wrote Paul a short story.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can kind of see, but that's what it looked like before.
Wow.
Just had a black band. It was it was just this it was kind of the runt. It looked like the runt of the litter, and and then Paul does this with it, and that's.
Yeah, that reminds me exactly of the ebony and ivory. You know what I mean? Like I saw that hat and I'm like, okay, that hat, but we got to modify it. And Paul did a wonderful job. That's this hat right here. But that, man, wow, and again, it's not like it looked bad. Obviously, it caught your eye, and that's the thing. You watch something, it catches your eye, and then you're like, okay, now it just needs X, Y, and Z. And then Paul just makes that happen so easily with no rush, right? You never feel like Paul is rushing you through the process, and there's nothing it's hard to put a price tag on that, because everything is the way it's supposed to be.
Yep. And again, just the generosity of him, he said, I got a couple ideas, and he sent back all these different ribbons and sizes, and I said, it started reminding me of the first two that I had. And
right.
I think Paul, I think that's your signature right there. Look, we got to do that.
I started doing that on this one, for instance. I've got a cord going round, and I've got some others where I've started doing the cord as a bit of a theme for people, so that you can take them off and put them on and jazz things up a little bit.
Yep.
I think it's great. I just I've got to get people in the UK to get further down the journey that the American market is on, and be a little bit more risky with the colors. I mean, honestly, it really is black, brown, and gray over here. So when I start coming out with my greens and beige and pink and other colors, they all think it's a bit racy, but I do get people that want bright blue beaver felt hats, or one gentleman wanted a mint green one, but I mean the felt alone was just under £400 from FEPSA.
I got a light blue, I think, right? When I saw on the site, I thought it was gray, but
you could always try a natural, like what I'm wearing. This is a natural color, and it will change color in the different lights.
Oh, wow.
I've seen it turn brown. I've seen it turn gray.
Right.
I've seen it turn khaki at one point. I'm like, it just really depends on when the light hits it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say the
Yeah.
same thing. Khaki, brown, gray. Yeah.
I've seen it go green at one point. I'm like, how? How did it do that?
Well,
God, this feels so good just to like, oh my gosh.
yeah. I wanted to mention Steve Heck, who's been on this channel before. Shout out to Steve Heck. He mentioned that FEPSA is connected to Miser, I believe it's Miser, or Mazer, but this is renowned brand, German. Hopefully I got that right. Steve, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, FEPSA, it goes to show you their connection to these really great brands, and then hopefully we'll get Steve back here to kind of talk a little bit more. Steve says Miser moved fur cutting to Portugal in the mid 1960s. Miser moved felt production to Portugal in the late 1980s. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about FEPSA, and we're going to do a trip. Who knows, Nathan? If you want to be part of that trip, maybe we can add you to the board of the board of directors, and then we can get. Obviously that's a 2026 kind of rumblings. Obviously there might be other things that come up, but I really love that idea of going to Portugal and then having that, because they just right now, from everything that Paul's told me and that I've experienced, they seem like a renowned company that is such a, they're like folks that are enthusiasts as well. They strike me as enthusiasts, and Paul's review in terms of how they treated him, even though Paul's not the biggest customer, they never made him feel like he wasn't. And that's those are folks that are doing it right.
Yeah, it goes a long way. I mean, I think I think I mentioned that I ordered a number of felts, and they put a couple of extra in. Clearly, they want to encourage small companies to grow, because you never know, could be another big company eventually. But just to give you the time of day, when you're a company that employs 400 people, you're obviously going to be very busy, and so
Right.
My orders are insignificant really, but it's been very much appreciated.
Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah. So this was wow. Yeah, I can't get enough of that. That's amazing. I love it. Wear it in good health, and like I said, hopefully, I know that there's going to be more hats to come. That's kind of how this works, right? Like you get that itch, and then at some point you get another itch, and then it's nice to have a hatter, like Paul at your disposal to be able to go through those ideas with, and then come up with the next big thing, right?
Yeah, I think this is number, and I'm embarrassed to say this. This is number 27 and 28, I think.
Wow.
And I think 4 out of my last 5 are these PJM masterpieces. They're truly artwork. I mean, it's no other way to put it.
Well, I guess the thing will be when you start wearing it out, Nathan, and if you get people commenting on it, that would be lovely. It's
they do. Yeah, they do. My other ones are like that.
Yeah,
they ask, and it makes me feel so good that I can say that I've got a story behind it.
Yeah.
That it's not, well, just go to that website and pick it out. Just recently I was wearing the brown open road, and oh man, that's a nice hat. And so now I've got this story. Oh, okay, well, yeah, this is a custom hat that I worked with the hatter on the color and the size and the felt. And they were like, oh, does he have a website? And I was like, yeah, here it is. And I had it on my phone, and so yeah, it's just those conversations that go on, and you look good in it when you get the compliment, right? When somebody saw,
that's
like,
right.
Hat, they're saying you look good in that. What is that?
Yep.
So,
compliments are not just for just a one gender, right? It's like or one sex, right? Like everybody loves compliments, like, and if you like into fragrances, right? My nephew, who's been he's shown up in the comments, he's into fragrances. I like fragrances as well, not as much as he does, but I always go out with a fragrance on, because sometimes you get a compliment besides on the hat that you're wearing or the jacket you're wearing, but sometimes on the fragrance you're wearing. And it's all tied together. It's like, once you hear that, like, wow, what are you wearing? That I love that scent, or I love that hat, or I love that jacket. Like, those things we're not immune to that. We never grow out of that.
Oh yeah.
So it's always nice to be able to hear those compliments, no matter for what reason, you know.
Well, thank you guys. I'm
Yeah.
gonna jump off, but Paul,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, oh my gosh, I can't say enough.
Well, I'm
beautiful.
very pleased that you're pleased with it, and relieved that you're pleased with it, and I hope you get many wearing sessions out of it and enjoyment from it. So thank you for your patronage, as we say over here, and hope you enjoy it for many years to come.
Yeah, it certainly won't be the last. And Luke, Josh, Brad, thank you for it's such a privilege to spend some time with you guys, and
our pleasure.
The community is so good. So
yeah, you're always welcome here, Nathan. Like I said, whether you want to be on screen or not, it's up to you. Like I said, I will add you to the board, that board members, if you're okay with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and look forward to. Well, first of all, I just want to wish you a happy New Year. If I don't talk to you before that, and thank you so much for sharing that video and sharing that unboxing with us. You know, that again, it's one of those things where the more folks that, the more customers out there that are able to show off their creations, the better.
So,
all right.
So next time we'll get into hats, not only over the last 200 years, but the last like 40, 50 years. The evolution has been very, very interesting. And it's headwear. It's not really like a fedora or a open road or a West Cowboy. It's a headwear. So
and even hair, right? Hair is part of it too. Like, so some folks don't wear hats, but they style their hair in such a way. In the 80s, I talked about it before, it was big where people would have these like punk dudes. It's still headwear, right?
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you guys.
All right,
thank you.
Have a good New Year.
Have a great day. Happy New Year, Nathan.
Thank you, Paul.
See you, Nathan. Guys, wow. Thank you guys, first of all, for thank you, Nathan, for coming on screen and sharing that unboxing video. Again, it's always funny, right? I thought about it. It's like, well, Paul's gonna be on there, and I want him on there, but at the same time, Paul knows, because I think Paul and I think alike. He's like, well, hopefully he doesn't feel like he can't like say some things like, oh man, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. But I already knew that Paul's work was gonna like to be a home run. So it's one of those things I'm like, well, it is what it is. It's unique, I think, right? How many times do you see an unboxing video along with the creator, right? The person that's on there that created the product, on the video, right? To comment and talk about the process. So I thought about it. I was like, you know what? This is fine. This is all good. And like if somebody hadn't, if somebody felt a little weird about it, then hopefully they felt that they could reach out to me. But I thought it was unique. I really thought that was like, wow, I've never seen an unboxing video like that, to be honest. I watch a lot of YouTube. I've never seen an unboxing where the person creating it is online as well, but maybe it exists.
I think Nathan is very generous with his comments, and I feel extremely relieved. This was not set up, boys. This was as much a shock to me as it was to you. And I'm glad.
I can't plan that well. Trust me. It's like, if you guys know, I'm very extemporaneous. There's no way I could plan this. I just, again, if you see something, the more robotic I am, the more planned, and I just find that I have to kind of like let loose of the script, right? If everybody wanted a script, then they just watch Robert De Niro or Al Pacino, right? I have to go off the top of the dome here because, well, I come across better that way. Even though I'm not like super polished, at least I come across as real and not like reading from a script. So you guys, man, I think we broke a record here with 6 people on the screen at once. That's another home run. That's another win for 2025, that we reached the limit in terms of screen time, people. And it actually went really well, I thought. Despite the fact that I have a little trouble, I'm still dealing with like formatting. But now that I have Josh and I got Morgan, between you guys, I know that I'll figure this out and then it'll come out better in the future. But anything, like, I wanted to make sure that I asked you guys, because we talked about having an end of year show. In terms of 2025, was there anything in 2025 that you want to kind of talk about that was especially like, it could be bad, but I'm hoping it's mostly good, that you want to share with the audience?
What?
And it's okay to, like I said, we have to celebrate our wins,
Yeah.
you know. And hopefully, I'll put this forward to Brad. Brad, I just want to make sure gave you guys a chance to talk about 2025. And if you don't want to talk about 2025, right, for whatever reason, what do you look forward to in 2026? How about that?
I think for me, Luke, it's been a fabulous year from the hatting point of view, and my journey has just gone continually up. I'm just under 500. I think I'm 480 something followers now on YouTube, and that's growing, and that's nice. You know, but the nice thing is, I think I've only ever lost about 8 people over the 2 years I've been doing it, which I'm quite proud of, and I'd like to carry on with that community. And a bit like you, I correspond with people and so on and help them out. So that's nice. My big thing is that, you know, I've exited some of the businesses that I was with up until now. I've come to the official retirement age here in the UK. I'm not going to retire, but what I am doing is doing a lot less formal work and more hat work. And we are just now, we've been out and about over Christmas looking at places that we'd like to live, and where can we get, you know, big enough land so we can put the room in there for the hatting and for doing the hat courses and all this sort of thing. So I'm excited that, and I hope that we can find a solution so that you know, my wife can be left in peace in the house, and I can be making a lot of noise and mess out in the garden in an office doing that. So, yeah, 2026. I think I thought years ago I was going to have a relatively quiet retirement and play with my cars and that sort of thing. No, I think I've got 10 more years in me, so that's what I'm looking forward to. But thank you for your contribution and your friendship through since about August when we met, and gosh, you know, we've done so much in that short period, really, and what we do coming to the UK and a meeting with all of us. So much appreciated.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. And Paul, like I said, completely agree, 100%. I feel the same exact way. Knowing all you gentlemen has, you know, and again, I think Josh had to bounce out. Has been a part of the win
audio
here.
again when Josh left.
He came back.
I'm gonna have to log out and come back in.
Oh,
because that seemed to fix it last time.
Crash, yeah.
Computers all for the past 2 days. So my apologies.
No worries. Oh, okay, got it. Oh, we got Robert. Robert, go.
Hey.
There's Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Hey.
Yeah.
Good morning. It's still morning here. So.
Oh.
All right. Excellent. Robert, man, I don't know if you had a chance to see any of the show up until this point, but what we've been talking about now is kind of like an end of year discussion about like things that we went through in 2025, hopefully mostly good, but even if it's bad, anything that you want to share, and if you don't want to talk about 2025, then maybe you want to share something about 2026 that you look forward to, and I'll leave the floor if you want to go, Robert, if you're ready. If not, I'll turn it over to Brad or Josh.
Well, just really quickly, really short.
Yeah.
I think if anybody has followed my history as a hat maker, it's been purely serendipitous in that I began with no great plan. It's like all my life I was, within my career, it was like, you got to have a plan. You got to work the plan if you want success. If you want to achieve your goal, you got to have a plan. You got to work the plan. You got to have discipline, and that was true for a lot of my life. But when I undertook this hatting journey, I had no plan.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do really was I wanted to learn how to make hats. I was pleased when the first couple of people bought one of my hats and liked it, but I've never had a plan, and it is just unfurled totally organically. And I woke up one day and it was like, I've got a business here.
Yeah.
And it was most wonderful experience. But I'm at this is the end of my 7th year, and I'm looking at, it's like, okay, where do I go from here? You know, do I continue doing what I'm doing, or, you know, it's like, have I reached the limit of this aspect of the experience, and is it time to do something differently? Um, Full disclosure, this last 3 months, I guess, my business has slowed down. The orders aren't coming in. At my peak, I had about a 10-week wait list, and that was the max. That's as much stress as I could handle.
Right.
And as the orders slowed down, um, it was actually a relief. But at this point, it's like I'm sitting with about a 3-week wait list, and and it's like the trend is definitely on a downward slope. So it's like, okay, well, where do I go from here? And maybe the luxury, the gift of serendipity, um, my luck has run out, and it's time to get more conscious about it.
Yeah.
So that, for me, that's the choice point, and it's like I'm not sure. The choice that is in front of me is, do I finally need to develop a web page? I've never. I thought, at some point I'll probably have to,
Yeah.
but I didn't, and it's like I didn't want to risk opening a web page because I didn't want any bigger wait list.
Right.
But it's like, okay, is that the time? Or is now the time? And then associated with that is, I've always had in the back of my mind the kind of the designer in me to develop a line of ready to wear hats.
Yeah.
Open a web page, have, say, a dozen different models, and they would still be made to order, but they would be these specific models.
Right.
And it's like, sitting here at my desk this morning, it's like I'm not sure what the answer is.
Yeah.
The other one is part of that is I've always to get more serious about dyeing hats and going into natural dyes.
Right.
And develop along with my models, but a proprietary palette of colors.
Yeah.
That's something. Or the other one is begin to offer classes to teach hatting.
Yeah.
Because there's I keep uncovering people that are doing that, and the prices that are being charged are astronomical.
Yeah.
I remember messaging your post about Master Hatters over in Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was just, that's staggering, because that's not even teaching hat making.
Wow. That's just hat shaping, and who to contact for wholesales. I called them up just to see what the prices were. Maybe it's something I wanted to try to get into.
Yeah.
But after hearing about that price, I'm like, no, I am going full organic. I'm going to. What I do for my career is I do a lot of research on vulnerabilities. So I'm like, I can do this. I can research all this information and find it and accumulate it together. And with the help of Robert, Paul, Brad, your videos, and Luke, your channel, it's helped me out a lot. And for that price, you're going to have to take out a small loan,
right?
Unless you have the liquid funds to do it. And I'm like, no. For someone like me, or for other young hatters out there that are trying to get into it, it's like that is what can kill the industry.
Yeah.
I think I'm with you. I think, yeah.
Particularly because, for new hatters, the one of the biggest impediments is just the capital expense to begin,
right.
And then if you've got a $4,000 or $5,000. Well, it'd be more than that, because you got to fly there, you got a hotel and meals, and it's like that's a hell of a nut to get off. And if you're
they only provide one meal for you. It really
Yeah.
almost is out of pocket.
Yeah.
So, I listened to their whole sales pitch, and I still get emails like, "Hey, are you still interested? Are you still interested?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"No."
You know what? I mean, I don't know, Josh. I don't know whether you've looked at Robert's videos that you can subscribe or pay for, but I did. I taught myself a lot through the restoration thing because I'd never had any intention on making hats.
Right.
But then when I did start making hats, I thought, look, I can go the long journey, make lots of mistakes, and that could be costly. Or there's this older guy called Robert. He's made some hats for a long time. I really admire his style. I can pay the price and look at it. And I paid the price, and I watched it over one weekend from start to finish. And I thought, yeah, you know, this is a great reference. This is the best reference I've got.
A
Whenever I want to
good
go
foundation gets you a long way, and that's what his videos teach. It's a good
honestly,
foundation.
Robert, you know, you've been an inspiration to me in what I'm doing now, but also in me thinking about where do I want to go with this. And I you know, I said before you came on, I've got about 10 years left in me that I want to work, and I'd like to be able to, you know, put together some courses to do at my home and have a separate office workshop where I can actually, you know, it's big enough to maybe have 3 or 4 people in, and we can do it there. So we're moving house to actually accommodate that and make that happen. So, you know, and I think it was nice to give something back because, you know, I don't want to go through 10 years, you know, holding it all to myself, because we'll still find that we've got the same hatters in the UK that are doing the same thing. And actually, when Luke and I have discussed, when you look at all of our different styles, it's almost like a department store of hats.
Right.
And whereas, you know, you go into a department store, you've got a whole range of sofas or washing machines that you can see that do different jobs.
Yeah.
You know, my styles are maybe down here, yours are down here, Robert. There's other people's are there and there. But when you put them all together, wow, what an array. So maybe we've got to find a way to be able to bring that together. And Luke and I have been talking about some things on that, which we'll talk about more. But, you know, I think moving forward, it's all about access to the hatters. And I think it's about building the experience for the client, because as Nathan put to us earlier on, you know, anybody can go online and they can buy it, and he said a Stetson or another brand off the shelf, and that's great, and you can get a nice house for a nice hat for a fair price. But actually, when you get one custom made, it's not a lot more money, but you can go through the process, and then you've got a story to tell when people say, "Nice hat, where did you get that?" And then you've got a little bit of fun and banter that you can go through. But I certainly agree, and I think that really, you know, if you can do more of what you were doing, Robert, with the teaching, that's fabulous. I mean, it really will mean a lot to people. But it's getting it out there, and I never even gave it a second thought about opening up a website or a YouTube channel. And in my website, I never give it a second thought about holding inventory rather than just making to order. So, you know, people have said to me, well, we don't see your hats turning over very much on your website. I'm saying, well, no, you won't, because I sell some of them off the website, but actually it's more a stimulus for people to look at. And then they say, well, I like that hat. And Nathan did the same. He said, I like that hat, but actually it looks a bit plain. Can we jazz it up a bit? And can we change it? Yes, we can, you know. And so that then led to, instead of Nathan buying one hat, he bought the 2. So you know, it really is a way of opening up that conversation again, because we were talking, and in fact, I need to add to my website the thing that we were talking about. You know, how many hats is the number I should have in my wardrobe? You know, and we've said it's about 10 or 12, and we've gone through and we've named the different hats and the different styles. And then more recently, we've been talking about the hat band exchanges and things. And I know, Robert, you picked up on a post that I did about this hat yesterday, and I really do think that there's mileage in exploring that as an idea, and make. And in fact, you know, as Nathan had it with the couple of headbands that I sent to him, you know, how much of a difference it made to him. So I think there are ways of taking the traditional into the more modern approach, but it's about adding value. It's about the experience, and actually any person can have a luxury experience for not a lot of money, you know.
That was that was a revelation to me when I used to keep a folder in my filing cabinet of um, fashion ideas and things that I'd like to add to my wardrobe, and um, a dream list, a wish list. And I used to have a folder on hats.
Yeah.
And they're closed now, and the name escapes me, but there was a custom hat maker shop in New York City. And then there was the Italian Cervo, one of the last small factories, and it was like that was my dream, was to go to New York City and commission a custom hat, or go to Italy. But it was always like it was in a different realm, you know. It's like, well, who am I? I can't afford a custom hat, you know. It was just, but it was my dream. And then I stumbled. I had a really modest collection of hats, just off the shelf hats, and I stumbled upon the Fedora Lounge.
Right.
And it opened up this whole new world. And this goes back to, I don't know, maybe 2010ish, 2012. But I discovered that there were small custom hatters out there, and the price, it was reasonable. And my first custom hat I bought from Mike Miller at Northwest Hats down in Eugene. And so my wife and I did a trek down there, and I bought 2 custom hats because the first one I bought a beaver and a rabbit, and it was a Winchester 100% beaver, just a classic fedora. And my recollection is I paid $180 for it.
Yeah.
Which really, you know, wasn't that much difference between an off the rack Stetson. And all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, this is available to the average working guy. It's not, you know, this is not the realm of the rich and famous. And it was just, I never knew that world existed.
Right.
And if it did, it wasn't available to guys like me.
Well, I want to make sure that I give Brad and Josh a chance. Man, wow, we're already got really good stuff here. And then I'll chime in at the end, but I want to make sure, Brad, do you want to go first, or?
Yeah, I can go.
All right.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of interesting. I'm in sort of an organic transition period here.
Yeah.
I just turned 59, so retirement is looming around the corner, and I'm beginning to think about that. And, you know, how much longer do I want to be teaching? I am a college history professor, assistant department chair, and starting next fall, I'll be department chair. So,
all right.
You know, more administrative duties that I don't want or don't like to do.
I'll call that achievement.
But I got to do it anyway. You know, so I'm looking at that, but I've discovered over the past couple of years that my heart, you know, really isn't in it as much as it used to be. You know, I've been teaching a long time, and I'd much rather be researching and writing and making these videos. And the video thing has been one of those organic developments, because I never, you know, I've had, I think, a YouTube channel for a long time, but I never posted much at all.
Right.
And then I had a video that has nothing to do with hats. It's a recipe video, and it allowed me to monetize my channel, which is something I never anticipated. So I've been working to develop that, and actually I've kind of got 3 different areas of videos that I'm doing. And in fact, I'm editing one that I shot yesterday that I'm going to hopefully get up on YouTube later today. But
yeah,
you know, I kind of want to focus on the, I guess, the public side of my research. I've got more books in me, so I need to get back to writing and you know, use these videos to get hat information out there. And you know, I thank you, Luke, for inviting me on your channel, because these have been so much fun. I never thought I would enjoy something like, you know, these these podcast chats, but boy, they're a blast. So
I tell you, you were a unicorn, Brad, because you were somebody that I knew, via reputation, right? So obviously, I knew from the Fedora Lounge, right? Just like Robert, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get Brad on here, but no way did I think that you would show up as early as you did, and I was like, wow, that is one of the major wins. I mean, besides the folks that all of you guys that have appeared for me, but for me, I was like, wow, that and I mentioned when when you first joined the video, the channel, was that your website was instrumental. It's probably the website that I use because I was so focused on Hat Corporation of America, and your website was like the gold mine. It's like I'm gonna reiterate it for you guys. If you guys want to know anything about the Hat Corporation of America, definitely check out thehatedprofessor.com, because really, like, there's very little information that's consolidated as that on Hat Corporation of America. And it's, and I'm just tickled the fact that I was able to get you on here as well. And again, I think in terms of your YouTube channel, I believe, are you monetized already, Brad?
Yeah, I'm monetized.
Okay, great. I think that's an achievement right there, because I believe out of all of us, you're the first that has achieved monetization. And I know, again, YouTube doesn't pay an extraordinary amount of ad revenue, but it's always something to be able to get something in return that you can kind of reinvest, in however you feel like you want to reinvest that money. So that's an achievement right there that I want to point out, because it's one of those things. I think Paul is at close to 500. At some point, Paul will be able to unlock tips. So if you watch Paul's channel, I think at 500, YouTube allows you to unlock tipping. And then obviously at 1,000, you're able to apply for monetization. And those are things that I look forward to if I get to that point. And Josh, obviously you have a YouTube channel as well. We're kind of up there trying to like get our subscriber counts, but that's the nice thing, is everybody's at a different place in their journey, their YouTube journey, as well as their hat and career journeys, as well as their life journeys. And that's why we're here. We can all support each other, because if we haven't gone through it, then we know we will probably go through something similar. So that's the nice thing. Obviously, Josh might be the youngest one here, of the group, but that's the benefit. And obviously, Morgan was here a little earlier. She's probably the youngest out of all of us. He is probably the youngest out of all of us. And for the most part, I think that ultimately there's a benefit in there. All you guys are those levers that are for our audience, right? You guys are all coming from different backgrounds. We all come from different backgrounds, but we come together to talk about our love for hats. And then somebody's going to watch one of us, or maybe several of us, and they're going to be like, you know what? That's my person right there. I'm going to go and try to meet that person and learn more about hats from that person. That could be Paul, that could be Brad, that could be Robert, Josh, maybe myself, Morgan, Ian, Nathan, right? Nathan, I like Nathan. If you're watching this, I like your personality. I'm looking forward to having you be a part of our board group, our board member group, because I think there's something about you in terms of like, the look, obviously from the Southeast you mentioned, we got Josh also in the Southeast. We need these levers, because ultimately what we're trying to do is create more hat people, right? It's kind of like the Borg in Star Trek. We want to go assimilate, right? Exactly. So you can call me Locutus, or Borg, or 7 of 9, whoever.
How about Lucutus?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I'm getting a little dirty here, but I know Brad's a fellow Star Trek lover. But ultimately, we're trying to create more folks and then more good hat people, right? Because we don't want to create, some kind of like Frankenstein, right?
I consider myself I'm a hat evangelist.
Yes. I love that.
That's my role.
Yep.
Yeah. Because that's what we all are. I mean, that title is pretty much, because again, remember, we're a small community. So chances are you might be the only hat person somebody knows, right? Or if they're lucky, they get to know a lot of us, right? With this YouTube channel. But you are there. You're kind of representing a lot of folks that don't have the ability to speak up for themselves. So I think that's another reason why hat people are so great, because we know that we're out there representing other hat people. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Brad, I just want to make sure I didn't cut you off prematurely. Was there anything else you wanted to share about, like, because that's a big move. I mean, the idea of retirement. I know I'm a little bit, I'm probably like about 9 years younger than you. Well, actually 10 years younger than you. So, right, those are things that I've been thinking about as well, even though like I'm a little further off from that horizon.
Yeah, no, I think I was, pretty well wrapped up.
Yeah.
So yeah, my whole point was I'm, kind of finding myself in the situation where I'm moving from one phase of my life to another. And I'm like Paul, Paul recognizes he's got, maybe 10 more years left in his new career. Yeah. And, who knows how long I will have in my next one, but it's strange to already be working towards a new career without, and I don't think of it as a career. I think of it as, more of a hobby, because it's stuff that I want to do. And if it brings in extra income, that's good.
I think creatively though, it's liberating. I've certainly found the experience of not only being creative, but feeling a lot freer.
Yeah.
You're doing your own thing. You're doing it your own time. I mean, I'm probably like yourself, Josh. I can be sat here at 11 o'clock at night because I've got stuck into a hat. I'm really enjoying the process. I don't want to stop, and it doesn't matter if I go to bed at 1 o'clock. It's my own time. So that I find really stimulating, actually. That I'm not being dictated to by other people anymore, which actually makes me more encouraged about the time I can afford to put in on the hat making. So, and you know what? It's probably the most exciting time of my life. Funny enough.
Yeah.
I mean, how daft is that?
Yeah. If that's not an endorsement, I don't know what is.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's one of the things that I want to communicate to young hatters, but do it in a way that doesn't totally scare them away. But the reality of being a hatter professionally, full time, it's a tough way to make a buck.
Right? Oh yeah,
and it's so I relish the fact that I get to make a hat for the sake of making a hat, and it's so great that I don't have to sell this hat to pay the rent. Yeah. But I'm not, because I've often had this thought over the last 7 years. It's like, well, damn, what if I'd had come to this 20 years ago? But the fact is that if I had, it would not have been so enjoyable, because I would have had to deal with the pressure of selling a hat to put food on the table.
Yeah.
Right.
And I could see days when that's not so much fun at all.
Yeah. And when I looked at it, Robert, I looked at the machinery that I'd have to buy. And actually you're into pressing out multiple hats from a mold, and it totally changes what we're actually doing. What we're doing is sort of artisan approach to our art and our creation, which you lose if you go into high volume making of hats.
There is a way. I know there's a big island just off the coast where I live, Vancouver Island, and there's a young, he's certainly younger than I am, mid-40s perhaps, and so there's no cowboys on Vancouver Island. But he's developed a business of he sells strictly Western hats.
Yeah.
He's at I think his price point is $1,200-$1,300 per hat.
Wow.
And self-taught for the most part. And he has an 18-month wait list.
Runs.
And he has no machinery. Other than he just bought, in the last couple of months, he bought himself a brim plater.
Yeah.
Pretty much a must if you're a Western hatter. Cost him 12 G's. But he's producing about 12 hats a month, and that's his max capacity. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He can't. He offered straws for a while, but he found that he had to do them at night, and he decided that he didn't want to live his life that way, so he dropped the straws. So
Right.
it is possible to have a business. I mean, because when you do what's his gross 150 a year,
Yeah.
So that's not a bad little business.
Yeah.
But he has to produce
Right.
three hats a week, every week, week after week, week after week. And he has to have developed to the point where he can charge $1,200 a hat, which takes a while to get there. And his hats are beautiful. The finish he puts on them. So it is possible, but I think in the world of hatters, he's kind of unicorn territory.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, before I forget, Josh, let me make sure you get a chance. I'm so sorry for keeping that.
It's good. It's good.
But
I'm the young one here. I'm learning from all of you. All of you. Like it really. Me getting into this has just really helped me mentally. So it's just what I do as a career can get pretty stressful because I'm having to deal with people and the management of risk. So it's just like people make these decisions, and I'm like, don't do that. And I'm having to provide consultations for on how to run their security and things like that. And I'm like,
yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm like, I need a way to vent healthily. Like I don't do any of the drinking or anything like that. Which I've seen in the past. And I'm like, I need something a little bit more healthy and something that will keeps my brain churning. Because if I can't sit still, I don't know if you've seen me throughout this entire thing. Is like I cannot sit still. I have to be doing something. So
I just go back and forth.
Has been very healthy for me, and the more I get into it, the more I figure I found that I've really enjoyed it. And it's helped my son. Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
He's actually one of his hats I've made for him was just really kind of made me kind of push forward on it.
Yeah.
So this whole year has just been a very growing experience for me.
Yeah.
I've been doing hat making and on the side since it's a lot of, it does involve a lot of capital on getting hats. I just pulled this. A buddy of mine gave me this one. It's a Resistol Quicksilver 6X 4X Beaver. It's a great hat, but it's way too small for me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Older hat.
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring that back to life and see if I got a musician friend of mine who's got a hat that it looks just way too big on him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see if I can get his hat size from his wife, and when he actually comes up to my area, because he's planning on it to do a couple gigs up here, I'm gonna present him as a little gift. Gift for him.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, to subsidize it, because it's I got no luck when it comes to auctions and getting some of these old hats. I've actually done some leather working, just to keep my skills going. And so I can actually start getting into trying to do a little bit more, hopefully get into tooling so I can do some really nice custom hat bands, other hat bands for people.
Amazing. I love that. Yeah, I got to tell you, Josh, your live videos, again, having watched your process, and some of them happen late night. That's why I look, because when I have insomnia, at least I know that maybe Josh is up too. You know what I mean? I've seen some of your late night lives, and it's amazing because I'm over there maybe watching TV, maybe I'm watching YouTube, but you're actually creating something. And I love it because even though I don't have that same skill set, but I get to watch you do it. And I think that's the allure of your channel and your lives, is that I think insomnia is one of those things, unfortunately, that is very common. I don't suffer it from long term, but I'll get like maybe a couple days in a row where I just can't sleep because my brain's going.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right, there's no way I'm going to sleep. But it's nice to be able to go and say, you know what? There's probably a hatter out there that might be also up. And it's good to be able to have your channel.
Yeah, that's that. So my kids, they go to bed. Once I get them to bed. I spend time cleaning up the house, and I have a couple hours to myself. And like, I used to play a lot of video games in the past, and I'm like, I'm not growing from that. So I'm like, I need to find something that I could healthily grow. And hatting and leatherworking has been doing it for me.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, I'm enjoying watching your process, Josh.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And you've already paid dividends in terms of like the IT, right? So obviously between you and Morgan and your IT skills, that's already helped me out tremendously, and it's continuing to help me out. I'm sure 2026 I'll be able to leverage your expertise in that respect even more. So Josh, thank you so much for being part of this channel. I know you haven't appeared on screen. I know that, like I said, I mentioned you've talked about the your day job and you're working remote. I want to make sure that you stay in the good graces of your employer.
Oh yeah.
I know you will, but I just have to say that because I don't want to have a situation where this channel gets you in trouble.
Yeah. Like when I'm at work, I'm concentrating on work. Yeah, I'll have the streams on in the background because I'm looking at a screen all day. But like when I have the time and I'm not like working and I can be on stream, I'll try to be on.
Sounds good, my friend. That sounds good. And then, I will just go because there's been like 2025 has been like kind of a big roller coaster. Obviously, I started this channel in August. It's hard to believe that it's just been in August. There's been so much that's happened. It feels like I've been doing this channel for a while. And I think part of that is because I had so much fun. It feels like it's my home, right? It's like my home away from home or my home within my home, right? And obviously, in terms of the life journey, there's going to be a pretty big step that I'll be going forward with. If everything goes as planned, my parents who live in New York may be moving in with me. That's the plan right now in March. So that's going to be a big shift. I just want, it's not 100%, but it's close to that. Whatever, 99%, let's just call it 95% that they're going to move in with me in March. So that's a big step. That's something that I really love and I cherish because one family, right? That's the thing that with Josh and with talking with Paul, with all you guys, family has been integral, in terms of my life journey and, and my career journey and my hat journey. And now I get to have my parents. I essentially get to take care of my parents, which, is going to be difficult, right? But I'm looking forward to it because it's my way of giving back to them for what they've done for me. So that's something that's really big that I'm looking forward to in 2026. In terms of like career, obviously, there's the idea of business, right? We talked about this on the channel. Robert, I mentioned this, when you mentioned this, it rung a bell because I also want to start a website. My website will probably be geared towards one, featuring the videos on this channel, as well as selling merchandise. Now, I'm not a hatter, but I do have a lot of hats. I have a lot of hats, a lot of vintage hats. Some of them I don't need. I kind of bought because, well, it caught my eye. But I'm like, you know what? I have way more hats than I need. So it'd be nice to be able to put them up on my website. And if somebody wants to make an offer on them, I'd like to be able to rehome the hat. I also have several jackets, less jackets, but I have several jackets that I've picked up along the way, that when I go out looking for a hat and I'll find a jacket, I'm like, you know what? I got to have this. I don't know if it's like something I'm going to wear, but I'm going to have it and maybe I'll rehome it and I'll sell that on the website. And there's other ideas because Paul and I have talked about, he's kind of clued in that we want to kind of broach together, as well as maybe wrap in some of you guys. And I'm thinking definitely Robert and maybe even Josh as well. And obviously everybody that's part of the board of directors, they probably will get, to see how they might fit into the game plan. But that's something that we're just started those discussions. So when me and Paul get to that point, we'll start wrapping you guys in. Maybe, who knows, maybe piecemeal, maybe at the same time. Paul's got a good head on his shoulder, so I know that the way, I'm going to lean on him in his expertise and how we want to go about this. And it's exciting, right? It's very exciting because if it works out the way I think and the way we think it could work out, well, maybe the whole point of all of this, everybody wins, Like, I'm a big believer in creating a situation where it's not just me benefiting, it's a group of people benefiting, because now you guys got some skin in the game, and then we can all win together, right? The idea of expanding the pie, we can all gain more through cooperation than we can through kind of like competition, right? Yeah. Right. We got a lot of hatters, and maybe there'll be more hatters that come their way. And we want to go, and we're a big believer in expanding the pie because, well, there's not that many of us out there. Why not collaborate? I mean, it's just more fun that way. So, that's going to be a big thing, I think, for us in 2026. And then obviously the channel is part of this as well. I didn't get to the 100 subscribers like I was hoping in 2025, but it doesn't mean that I didn't have a lot of wins with this channel. You guys were all wins, right? Besides you guys that are here right now, we had Morgan, Ian, Steve Heck, Brian Forbes, and hopefully I didn't forget anybody else that's been part of the channel. But all you guys have been big wins, part of the channel for 2025, and I hope you guys join us and continue with us in 2026. I'll tell you one thing, and not to be brag. I had one video, and this I'm gonna chalk this up to Ian, because Ian suggested this movie. My Fedora Friday series has been the most successful series on this channel. Makes sense. People love movies. But I got to tell you, Public Enemies, that movie, that was a movie that I saw. I had seen it, but I didn't remember a whole lot of it. When Ian suggested it and said that it was his favorite movie, I knew I had to cover that movie. I had to rewatch it and cover it. And that channel, that video has been my most successful video. I think it's gotten 1,200 plus views or something like that. For a small channel like this that only has less than 100 subscribers, 1,200 views is a pretty good clip. So I'll call that one of my achievements for 2025. And like I said, I talked about my 2026. There's a lot of big things to come. There's a lot of stuff that has happened in 2025 that I won't go into, but I know everything happens for a reason. And I'm looking forward to 2026. It's just been a good year, but I'm thinking 2026 is going to be even better. And thank you guys for being part of that success, and hopefully part of that success for 2026.
Cool.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, guys.
I just want to, before we go,
Robert.
I want to thank Brad. I write the column in the Hat Talk magazine, and this month I think it comes out today, and it's on it's an update on brim shackles, and I referenced you, and there's a link to your webpage.
Oh wow!
And I can't
love that.
My faulty memory is I can't remember exactly how I referenced you, but there's a section, and I think it had to do with the Dorsey curl.
Okay,
and
probably.
So there's a live link to your webpage.
Oh wow!
And I think the magazine has 15,000 subscribers. So
awesome! Wow.
You might get some tips out of that.
I love that, Robert. Thank you for sharing that. That was
thanks,
very,
Robert.
very. Yeah, I love hearing this, because again, and I don't know if you gentlemen, I mean, I know you guys were both on the Fedora Lounge, and I have no idea, if you guys knew each other beforehand, but regardless, we're here now on video. If this channel had anything to do with that's great. But again, this is what I want to see out of this channel, is us helping each other out. And obviously we can make money, right? Like, I got no problem with making money. I hope that everybody knows that. Even though I typically don't ask for money when I do these things. I'm not opposed to making money. It's just that I do this for more than just money. I know Paul says the same thing. Robert, I know the way you operate it and with your business, and all you guys. And Josh, I don't know as much about like how that, but I know your heart. So I know that you have that generosity of spirit as well as Brad. And that's how I want to keep operating. Again, we can make money. We can make money together. I'm okay with that. It's just that I just want to help each other out. That's the main point. And we have helped each other out. Robert, that was a great gesture by linking Brad's article. And those are little things, like I said, little things that those little droplets that can cause big ripples and big waves eventually. And who knows where that could lead. So I love it. Thank you for sharing that. What I'll do is we're a little bit over 2 hours. I'll close the show out. Right. So I don't know if I'm going to go live tomorrow or not. I'm kind of I've been trying to keep myself family oriented throughout the holidays. Right. And I hope you guys do the same because really the holidays are all about family, at least to me. Again, it doesn't matter who you consider family, right? It could be your friends. Maybe they're not your blood relatives, but whoever you really rely on as your support network, reach out to them and make sure that you're spending some time. If they're far away, maybe you can video chat with them, but focus on family because, to me, that's what it's all about. So, and you guys are part of my family. So, this is why I spend time with you guys. So yeah, regardless of whether we go live tomorrow or not, I want to wish you gentlemen a happy close of 2025 and a happy 2026 and a successful and prosperous 26. Thank you again for being part of this channel. It really means a lot to me.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Well,
appreciate it.
And you know how I'm going to leave you guys, right? You guys can go and support all these gentlemen, right? I have links to Paul's YouTube channel. I got a link to Brad's YouTube channel as well as Josh's YouTube channel. Please support and subscribe to their channels, right? And even if you don't, right? Even if you don't support these gentlemen, right? One thing you got to do, or else we get the New Year baby to visit you. And the New Year baby will probably he'll be all cute and all, but he won't do anything other than just maybe tap on that subscribe button for you guys so you guys can support. But regardless of whether you do, the one thing you got to do for us, right? The one thing that's non-negotiable, and that's stay hatting, my friend. Have a great day. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.